Can you believe it? Wow, Fiddler on the roof, Avromi on the roof, here we are.
Do you like the setting?
Well, it's pretty cozy in here. Welcome back. Another broadcast, another happy hour with the Freilich family. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you. Yes, we've been very, very excited about it. It's been all the rage in the house. And
we've loved putting it together.
Oh, yeah.
So the idea is that we understand that we are just a few days before Shavuot, before the beautiful Yom Tov of Kabbalah HaTorah, of receiving the Torah. So we needed to ensure that although we're going to have a lot of fun in the happy hour, we wanted to make sure that it was educational at the same time. So what we've decided to do is take 5 of the most favorite songs. I know everyone's got their favorite song.
But I think we've chosen them.
I think we've chosen good songs, and everyone has their favorite line of Fiddler. Everyone loves Fiddler. And what we're going to do is we're going to try and discuss the Jewish take and discuss the actual song and perhaps critique it for a few minutes and then go into the clip, which will be a surprise and hopefully you'll really enjoy it. So we were going to begin with discussing the lovely song of Tradition.
Now, you know when the music starts, the great music that starts when the film starts, and actually it was the 3rd most popular film in the 1970s. Everyone loves Tevye. There's something about Tevye, but we would like to look at it from a Jewish perspective. What does it mean, tradition? That song tradition that we all sing and we don't even know what it means. What's the significance in our lives?
So in the actual film, Tevye proclaims that tradition is what binds the villagers together and his family, the people in his village and his people. And he proclaims at the beginning that without our traditions, that sounded a little bit like Chief Rabbi Jonathan Sachs, without our traditions, our lives would be as shaky as a fiddler on the roof. And the truth is, it's really a bit of a sad story because...
It's a terrible story.
It is a sad story.
As a child, you think it's all exciting, but when you watch it as an adult, it's just Tevye the milkman. It's terrible. It's very sad.
For example, Tevye exclaims at the beginning, he says, for example, he says, here in Anatevko, we have our tradition to wear a prayer shawl to remind us of our devotion to God. That really sounded like Chief Rabbi Sachs. Anyway, the question is, he says afterwards, why do we do it? Where does this tradition come from? And he says, I don't know. That's a strange thing to say. What do you mean we don't know where the tradition of tzitzis comes from, or the tradition of covering our head? We're supposed to know where our traditions come from. For example, tzitzis, we learn in the Shema, Daber el bnei Yisrael ve'omat aleim v'asu lehem tzitzis, you should wear tzitzis. So it's very strange that he exclaims, we don't know where our traditions come from. Furthermore, if you believe that traditions are just sort of like a set of tricks, cute ideas, and with that, you will ensure the next generation to continue these traditions, it's not going to carry through. It will not work. We need to understand where our source is from. For example, we have a beautiful sefer called Tamei HaMinhagim. This was written by Avromi Sperling, and he there quotes all the different halachas and reasons and the makoros and the sources why we do each thing and where it's from and what the source in the Torah is. And so it's very important as we are about to go into our first exciting clip, it's very important to be able to pass on to the next generation not only the set of traditions, but why and what the reason is. We do this because of such and such, because it says in the Torah. So coming close to Kabbalah HaTorah, receiving of the Torah, the festival where we celebrate our life book.
And Tevye actually is craving education. There's this common thread of him having such respect for the rabbi and just wanting to be educated and wanting to sit in the prayer study hall. He has got a craving for education, but sadly he never had that luxury.
So without any further ado, we are proud to present to you our first offering of today's broadcast, Tradition.
Tradition, 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 tradition.
Because of our tradition, we've kept our balance for many, many years. Here in Anatevka, we have traditions for everything. How to sleep, how to eat, how to work, how to wear clothes. For instance, we always keep our heads covered and always wear a little prayer shawl. This shows our constant devotion to God. You may ask, how did this tradition get started? I'll tell you. I don't know, but it's a tradition. And because of traditions, every one of us knows who he is and what God expects him to do.
Day and night must scramble for a living, feed a wife and children, say his daily prayers. Who has the right as master of the house to have the final word at home? The papa, the papa. Tradition, the papa, the papa. Tradition. Must know the way to make a proper home, a quiet home, a kosher home. Who must raise the family and run the home, so Papa's free to read the holy book. The mama, the mama. Tradition, the mama, the mama. Tradition. At 3 I started Hebrew school, at 10 I learned a trade. I hear they've picked a bride for me, I hope she's pretty. And who does Mama teach to mend and tend and fix, preparing me to marry whoever Papa picks. The daughters, tradition, the papas, the mamas, the sons, the daughters. Tradition. Tradition, 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 tradition. Tradition.
Loved it.
How much did you love that?
Well, we had a lot of fun putting that together and quite a few takes of going to the window and pouring milk without me laughing
and laughing.
Seeing our daughters dressed up like that. We had a lot of fun. I hope you really enjoyed it. A great start to the show.
And can I just say though, what the audience have to know is that this was really, really done at home with a very, very basic
props.
Yes,
that's
exactly.
right. So we've tried to do this on an absolute budget shoestring, and we have some people to thank for them. And first of all, I want to thank David Barry, who was instrumental in putting all the videos together. And this is in loving memory of his mother, whose yahrzeit it was just a couple of days ago, Lieber Bus from Abba. And thank you, David. Now, for the next clip, we want to talk about If I Were a Rich Man.
Which is probably the most popular song in the film, I think.
Absolutely. So this is a poor person dreaming about becoming rich, and that's a common pastime for poor people. And in the song, he exclaims many times, if I were rich all day long, I would biddy biddy bum. And look up, what does that mean, I would biddy biddy bum? So one answer is that it just means I'll be so wealthy that I'll be able to just piddle around all day. And another interpretation is that all day long I'll be able to practice Jewish prayer. As he says, he's got these dreams.
This craving.
He has this craving, but the craving is an interesting craving because he begins by saying, if I were a rich man, I'd have one long staircase coming down and another going up and another just going nowhere at all, just for show. And I'll have lots of ducks and geese, and these are all material possessions. And he believes that if he has these material possessions, this will make him a happy person. But we know
it's not necessarily the case. I mean, probably the most popular saying from Pirkei Avot, from Ethics of Our Fathers, is who is rich, the person who's happy with their lot. Easier said than done, but ultimately it's true. If one finds appreciation and contentment in one's life, then one can truly, truly find happiness. And of course one's allowed to have aspirations, and of course wealth is a blessing, but it shouldn't be the wealth that brings happiness. And actually I think he does know that, because it actually made me feel quite sad when I watched it over and saw how he just craved to sit in the study hall and study and learn, coming back to the education again, this craving to be able to do something concrete with his life.
You know, God constructed our world and our universe that struggle and labor are all part of it. It's part of the makeup of the world. And when a person has no job or no work or no meaningful life, then that gives no satisfaction and no real meaning in life. We have to have this struggle. The more effort one puts into something, the more love and the more labor one puts into something, the more one reaps that reward. And so, you know, as this philosophy of becoming rich in possessions, in material possessions, is often seen on TV and in magazines. If we have this, we're going to be happy, and if we have that, we're going to be happy. When we know that true contentment comes from within, if one is leading a meaningful life. And how does one lead a meaningful life? I would say, you know, after health and peace, happiness must be one of the biggest brachas, right up there on the high in the list of criteria of what makes a meaningful life is contentment. And as Rachel quite rightly quotes from the Perek, Ezehu Osher HaSameach B'Chelko, we must learn. You know, one of the curses of today is that our children, our generation, have everything they want. They're spoiled. We're a spoiled generation, and we never have to fight for anything. We have to struggle for anything. And we know that when one struggles, then one really reaps reward.
And also to accept that at the end of the day, there's always going to be people who have more and people who have less, and one just has to realize and appreciate what one does have.
But later in the song, he echoes the ethos of, if I would have the time, I would sit in the prayer hall and I would study. So he does have that craving of learning more and understanding that if I would have more time. But there's that famous saying that never say like when I have the time, unless one never gets the time. And we're living in the lockdown now, and people who have had lives shortened, and we have to live our life as every day as if it is our last. And we know something that is called cheshbon hanefesh. Some people do this as they put their head on their pillow just before they're about to go to sleep. They look back at their day and say, what have I done today? Have I had a meaningful day? Did I do the right things today? Did I love the people I'm supposed to love? Did I hug my children today? Have I done the right things? It's cheshbon hanefesh. And so, without any further ado, we present If I Were a Rich Man. Sing along!
If I were a rich man, yaddle diddle diddle daddle diddle 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 da. All day long I'd biddy biddy bum. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard. Yaddle diddle diddle daddle diddle 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 da. If I were a bitty bitty rich, idle diddle man, I'd build a big tall house with the rooms by the dozen, right in the middle of the town. A fine tin roof with real wooden floors below. There would be one long staircase just going up, and one even longer coming down, and one more leading nowhere, just for show. I'd fill my yard with chicks and turkeys and geese and ducks for the town to see and hear, squawking just as noisily as they can, with each loud cheep, land like a trumpet on the ear, as if to say, here lives a wealthy man. If I were a rich man, yiddle-diddle-diddle-diddle-diddle-diddle-da, all day long I'd biddy-biddy-bom. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard, yiddle-diddle-diddle-diddle-diddle-diddle-da. If I were a biddy-biddy rich, idle-diddle-diddle-diddle man, I'd see my wife, my Golda, looking like a rich man's wife with a proper double chin, supervising meals to her heart's delight. I see her putting on airs and strutting like a peacock. My, what a happy mood she's in, screaming at the servants day and night. And it won't make one bit of difference if I answer right or wrong. When you're rich, they think you really know. If I were rich, I'd have the time that I lack to sit in the synagogue and pray, and maybe have a seat by the eastern wall. And I'd discuss the holy books with the learned men several hours every day. That would be the sweetest thing of all. If I were a rich man, yiddle-diddle-diddle-diddle-diddle-diddle-da, all day long I'd biddy-biddy-bom. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard, yiddle-diddle-diddle-diddle-diddle-diddle-diddle man. Lord, who made the lion and the lamb, you decreed I should be what I am. Won't it spoil some vast eternal plan? If I were a wealthy man.
Yes! On the farm! Thank you to Jill and Jeremy for allowing me to come on the farm.
Jill and Jeremy Friedman.
Jill and Jeremy Friedman, of course. Thank you so much. Good friends up in Bedford. Thank you. I was petrified to hold that goose because I went into the goose pen and they attacked me. But they said, we've got one goose that won't mind you carrying her. I was absolutely petrified, but they were right. She stayed really nice and calm. She was lovely and soft. It really enjoyed it. And the milking of the goat, that was a lot of fun. I actually really was milking, acting the goat with the goat. So, thank you, Jill and Jeremy Friedman. And by the way, all this wonderful music that is accompanying the songs of tonight, you know, everything was done in lockdown. So I had to record on an iPhone and send that to Ben Fingerhut, who did magic with it and put the instrumentals to it. So a huge thank you to Ben. It's been
remarkable.
A pleasure working with you, Ben.
Amazing.
Ben works with the Kerem School as the music director there. And it's been a privilege and pleasure to work with you. Thank you so much, Ben, for the beautiful music. So onwards to the next song. I hope you're loving this, by the way. Keep writing your comments because we're going to read them afterwards, and keep sending your texts and emails because it means so much to all of us who have put in this work for you guys.
So the next song is Matchmaker. So what can we say about Matchmaker?
Imagine everyone sitting at home going, Matchmaker.
Right. And it's actually a reflection of the Jewish view on marriage. marriage is a real central part of Jewish life, and ultimately every girl and every boy dreams about finding their life partner and finding love, and every parent is wishing to see their children settled and happy. So in the film, the character Yenta, she's a real caricature, and the situation is actually horrendous. She presents the most ridiculous suggestion, which, I don't know, perhaps it's just the sign of poverty, but I mean, poor girl. But really, that's not really how a matchmaker works. I mean, who was the first matchmaker in the world? The first matchmaker ever was none other
than God himself.
Than God himself, who decided that man couldn't be alone. People don't want to be alone, they want to be together. And so ultimately the idea of helping someone to find their match is a really, really big mitzvah. And I think nowadays the way matchmakers work, it's a bit like, would you say it's like a blind date? You set people up, but then the family can have involvement, researching if they've got the same values, the same cultures, etc. Because I think that when there are similar values and similar backgrounds and similar homes, then
similar aspirations,
then the chances of a relationship working are definitely higher. That's not to say that it always works, and it's not to say that people from completely different backgrounds can't work. But I think that's what the idea is, that you try and find someone who can match you up to someone with similar ideals.
I suppose the big question is that we need to ask ourselves today is, you know, as children grow, so if a child is 3 years old, we would hold a hand as we walk down the street and teach the child that the road is dangerous. And as they go into their schools and as they go choose a career, children sit and discuss it with their parents. I would say that's a natural involvement. So why would it make sense for the biggest decision in a person's life, who they're going to live with for the rest of their life, should be made on their own? It only makes sense that someone, i.e. a matchmaker or a shadchan, as it's called, has an idea. I know so-and-so, and I know you, and I think it'd be a great idea perhaps to go out and get to know each other, and perhaps for a future life partner. So I think a matchmaker in today's age, parental involvement, yeah, which we're talking about whether a parent should be involved, and if they should be involved, how much they should be involved, and how much guidance they should be able to give, and how much guidance the children should accept from the parents.
And it is helpful when the parents are happy with the spouse the child chooses. It does help, doesn't it?
Absolutely. When children see that their parents are happy with their chosen partner, then this gives a huge morale boost to the young couple, and yes, a great chizuk, a great encouragement for the young couple settling down into their future.
So I think in the film it's actually, as I said, a caricature. Ideally it's amazing if it's someone who is a friend who sets people up because they know each other and they think they're suitable. But it's quite comical and interesting to see how it happened all those years ago. I don't know if this was realistic, but I'm jolly grateful that we don't have a matchmaker like Yenta nowadays.
It's interesting that the eldest, was it Seitel?
Seitel.
She warns the others that, you know, we're from a poor background, so don't expect anything great. Just accept whatever Yenta offers. You know, those were the times we just had to accept whatever was offered, even though it was going to lead to an unhappy marriage.
I know. Well, I think nowadays, thankfully, people are expected to be happy, and parents will make sure that no one marries anyone they're not happy with. And so I think we're lucky we live in 2020. But here you go.
So, without further ado, our third offering for this evening. I hope you're loving it, because we are. Here is Matchmaker.
Matchmaker, matchmaker, make me a match. Find me a find, catch me a catch. Matchmaker, matchmaker, look through your book and make me a perfect match. Matchmaker, matchmaker, I'll bring the veil, you bring the groom, slender and pale. Bring me a ring, for I'm longing to be the envy of all I see. For Papa, make him a scholar. For Mama, make him rich as a king. For me, well, I wouldn't holler if he were as handsome as anything. Matchmaker, matchmaker, make me a match. Find me a find, catch me a catch. Night after night in the dark I'm alone, so find me a match of my own. Huddle, oh huddle, have I made a match for you? He's handsome, he's young, alright he's 62, but he's a nice man, a good catch, true? True, I promise you'll be happy, and even if you're not, there's more to life than that. Don't ask me what. Chava, I found him. Will you be a lucky bride? He's handsome, he's tall, that is from side to side, but he's a nice man, a good catch, right? Right! You've heard he has a temper, he'll beat you every night, but only when he's sober, so you're alright. Matchmaker, matchmaker, you know that I'm still very young. Please take your time. Up to this minute I misunderstood that I could get stuck for good. Dear Yenta, see that he's gentle, remember you were also her bride. It's not that I'm sentimental, it's just that I'm terrified. Matchmaker, matchmaker, plan me no plans, I'm in no rush, maybe I've learned. Playing with matches, a girl can get burnt. So bring me no ring, groom me no groom, find me no find, catch me no catch, unless he's a perfect match.
Yeah, I love that song. They're all such great songs. That's why there was such excitement when the Fiddler poster came out. Everyone said, we love the songs, we love the songs. They have been great songs, and it's been fun singing them and learning them and acting them out. You know, it was a huge effort to get the children to be involved. They said, we are not going on camera, certainly not dressed up. So we had to do certain angles in order to accommodate their requests. But we have to thank them for finally giving in and allowing us to film them. So thank you to the kids. Hope all is well.
And we maintain their dignity.
That's right. We tried to. We'll hopefully take it straight off Facebook as soon as this lockdown has finished. Anyway, on to the next song of the evening. To life, l'chaim. Go on, Rachel.
Well, what can I say? I think ultimately one of the beautiful phrases that we're meant to live our lives by is Ivdu es Hashem b'simcha. We should serve God with joy. And our religion is a joyous religion, but it's a religion with structure. So therefore, at every milestone in our lives, in the Brit Milah, wedding, when we make Kiddush, the Chagim, we always make Kiddush and we sanctify it over wine. And so it's the idea of, yes, we're enjoying and we're going to loosen up a little bit, so to speak, but not in a way that we're wild or gluttonous, etc., all with dignity and refinement and keeping ourselves focused on what true joy is.
That's right. So the question is, how comes in the secular world when two people chink their glasses, they go, cheers! Whereas we say, l'chaim. What does l'chaim mean? L'chaim means to life. Why are we saying to life? And I think it's because that we are given so many blessings. We are surrounded by so many of God's gifts all around us. We just need to open our eyes. And one of those gifts is to be able to celebrate over something so special as wine or drink or whatever you're drinking, and to be able to say, I realize that what I have in my hand is something that is God-given and given for me to be able to enjoy. So it's allowing the physical to become something spiritual. And we can do that with almost anything.
And we love celebrating.
We're supposed to celebrate.
Being happy and joyous,
absolutely,
and dancing
absolutely.
And singing.
The Jewish religion is supposed to be offered with much simcha. In fact, I was reading Rabbi Abraham Twersky's book the other day, and he said that simcha, happiness, is the best vaccine. You know, we're all looking for a vaccine at the moment. He said simcha, he has seen from his clinics on addiction and abuse, that when one has not just a contentment, but an outward simcha, an outward joy and happiness of life, and celebrating the things around us, that can lead us to great, great heights.
Does everyone know who Rabbi Twersky is?
Rabbi Twersky,
Rabbi Twersky is a Hasidic Bobber Chassid. He's in his 90s now. Stromal, beard, the full works. And he is a very, very respected psychiatrist in America who set up clinics on addiction and has written countless books. And he is an ambassador to our nation and has lots and lots of wisdom to share.
so we believe that when we say l'chaim, we treasure life. We hold on to life. We're supposed to protect life. We're supposed to prolong life as long as we can. You know, we said in Hallel just this morning, Loi omus ki echya. I don't want to die. I want to live. Hayodecha ofar hayagid amitecha. If I would be in the earth, could I sing your praises? So our prayers are full of l'chaim and talking about life and what we're supposed to do with life and how we're supposed to live life to the full with simcha. And so when we chink our glasses and we go, to life, l'chaim, we are supposed to feel the energy and feel the joy of the gifts and blessings that God has bestowed on us. And they can be anything from as small as a smile, a beautiful painting, a beautiful picture, anything. Good health, everything around us is a blessing. And we are supposed to count our blessings every day. So, here we go. For our fourth offering this evening, we proudly present to you, and thank you, Mayor, for filming. Lots of you will recognize the backdrop here in this song. Ladies and gentlemen, to life, l'chaim. For over 26 years, I've had the zechus, the tremendous honor of enjoying my 2-mile Shabbos walk from our home in Golders Green to Shul. On arriving in Shul, we utter the following words: Ahalala Hashem b'chayai. I will praise Hashem while I'm alive. Oiseh Shamayim va'oretz, the maker of heaven and earth, mountains and all hills, fruitful trees and all cedars. In the beautiful prayer of Nishmas, which is only recited on Shabbos and Yom Tov, we say the words Kol atzmoisai toimarno, Hashem mi kamoicha. All my bones shall say, God, who is like you? It is our duty, I believe, to enjoy the blessings that surround us using all of our senses. The white puffy clouds in the sky, the sounds of the birds singing, the sweet fragrance of a rain shower or a blooming flower, the smile from a passerby. I believe that gratitude can change our attitude. We must open our eyes and our minds to the idea that we are surrounded by Hashem's blessings. Every experience, every feeling, every thought and conversation, every sight, sound, smell and taste can be viewed as part of that blessing if we choose. The daily practice of gratitude, hakaras hatov, helps us to see and to savor the many gifts that we are continually offered. Never lose sight of the view that life, chaim, is a gift. As I once heard being said, today I drink from my saucer, my cup overflows. So join me on my weekly run to Shul as I take in the blessings that surround us. L'chaim, to life.
To life, l'chaim. L'chaim, l'chaim, to life. He's to the Father I've tried to be. He's to my bride to be. Drink l'chaim, to life, l'chaim. L'chaim, l'chaim, to life. Life has a way of confusing us, blessing and bruising us. Drink l'chaim, to life. God would like us to be joyful, even when our hearts lie panting on the floor. How much more can we be joyful when there's really something to be joyful for? To life, l'chaim. To Tzeitel, my daughter, my wife. It gives you something to think about, something to drink about. Drink l'chaim. To life. To lays Kaiser Wolf to Tevye, to title your daughter my wife. May all your futures be pleasant ones, not like our present ones. Drink l'chaim to life, l'chaim. L'chaim, l'chaim to life. It takes a wedding to make us say, let's live another day. Drink l'chaim to life. Raise a glass and sip a drop of schnapps in honor of the great good luck that favored you. We know that when good fortune favors to such men, it stands to reason we deserve it too. To us and our good fortune, be happy, be healthy, long life. And if our good fortune ever comes, here's to whatever comes. Drink l'chaim to life, l'chaim.
Oh, that was fun. That was really fun.
Can I just say the words were really beautiful. The words that you said beforehand were really beautiful.
Oh, thank you,
Really
Rachel.
beautiful.
Thank you so much. By the way, it's quite interesting. I don't even drink whiskey. I'm not a big drinker. So it's all a show, but it was a pretty good show. And I hope you recognized the streets along the way. That's my weekly run to shul. And I love it. I count my blessings. People very often ask me, what do you do when it's raining or when it's cold or when it's snowing and icy? That's absolutely fine, because when one walks, as you walk, you warm up after a few minutes. But in the heat, when it's very hot, that's the difficulty. Anyway, we count our blessings.
Absolutely.
So this brings us, it's gone too quick. Loving it. By the way, don't forget to drop us a note. You've got to drop us a note.
Can I just say we have a very, very creative person in our household, and it's not me.
It's not me
So all
either.
the amazing
Rachel is the
ideas,
perfectionist here, as you can see.
all
Drop us a
the
line.
amazing ideas, I just don't know how you even thought of them.
If you haven't seen the splitting of the cake or the wedding, make sure to go on it on the videos. And do drop us a line at avromi@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you, and you'll definitely get a response. So tell us how much you're enjoying it. But thank you so much for watching. So here we come.
We're
to-
almost at the end.
We're
Sam.
almost at the end. We've come to our final song when the curtain lowers.
There's
It's-
two parts of the song. So when the
Yes.
first part finishes, don't worry, there's another part.
Yes.
Okay?
This
There's only one song which it could be.
what
right?
could it be?
There's
It's
only
got
one
to be
Sunrise,
sunset. Right, okay. This is the rules for the song. Have your tissues ready, because we've done 2 takes of this song. The first one we had to do, the traditional one, is this the little girl I carried? Beautiful song. But with the help of our dear friend Malcolm Green, has put the most beautiful lyrics together for a different take on the song. And not only has he put the lyrics together, but he produced this beautiful clip that you're about to see, the second clip of Sunrise. And thank you, Malcolm, for your hours and hours of work putting the beautiful clip together. And I'm sure for all the people at Norris Lee who recognize the shul, it'll be an emotional clip. But thank you, Malcolm. Thank you so much for your time. So here we have Sunrise Sunset talks about life and how quick life passes us by.
It's actually quite sad, Sunrise Sunset. It's actually a sad song, I think, because it's really the understanding how quickly life goes. I mean, I always get a chill down my spine every Yom Kippur and every Rosh Hashanah in the famous Onatana Tokef prayer, which talks about how life is just like a dream. You know, wasn't it just yesterday when it was just the children were little and all of a sudden everyone's grown up? And I think there's a lot of lessons to be learned from this song, perhaps more than any of the other songs. How to make use of every single day and how every minute is to be treasured. So it's quite bittersweet. People use it as a chuppah song. And even, you know, walking down your children to the chuppah, there is a feeling of, yes, pride and gratefulness, but where have the years gone? And that's why it's so important to make every single day count.
What do our prayers tell us about sunrise or sunset? Well, our prayers are full of it, full of sunrise and full of sunset. In fact, just this morning In Hallel, being Rosh Chodesh, being a new month, when we sang Hallel, we said these following words: Mi mizrach shemesh ad mavo'oi, mahulal shem Hashem. From the rising of the sun until its setting, I will praise the Lord. And I think that's so beautiful, because from dawn to dusk, we have so much to be grateful for, and it's for us to fill that day between dawn and dusk, between the sun rising and sun setting.
You're a real sunrise person.
I love sunrise. I'm a very early morning person. In fact, with the lockdown and not being able to go to shul, very often I can be found early in the morning, especially on these beautiful mornings that we're about to have this week. Have you seen the forecast? It's beautiful, with my talis and tefillin out on the lawn, just me and nature, Hashem, and it's a beautiful davening. So I love the sunrise. Rachel is more of a sunset person, because sunset is more romantic, and so she loves a good sunset. And of course, she likes to sleep in, so she won't see the sunrise. Did I just say that? I just said that on national TV. Anyway, no, she's also quite early, but not early. Anyway, you know, in one of our most holy prayers in Ne'ilah on Yom Kippur, just as the fast is finishing and concluding, just as the gates are closing, we say the following beautiful words: Psach lanu shara, open the gates for us. Hayom yifne, hashemesh yovo v'yifne. The sun is turning, the sun has risen, and the sun is going down. And here we stand before God as the gates are closing and say to God, we've been praying to you all day, we've fasted all day, the sun has risen and now it's set. Please accept our prayers.
I feel that actually every day, a sort of sadness, how, you know, today, the day's almost gone. I'll never ever get this day back again. There is something quite poignant and quite sad about that.
And that's right. And this same message of making use of our time is occurring again and again. And so, without further ado, we're presenting two clips to you. The first one is a short family clip, and the second one is where you'll really need your handkerchiefs.
Tissues ready.
Presenting to you Sunrise, Sunset.
Is this the little girl I carried? Is this the little boy at play? I don't remember growing older. When did they? When did she get to be a beauty? When did he grow to be so tall? Wasn't it yesterday when they were small? Sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset, swiftly flow the days. Seedlings turn overnight to sunflowers, blossoming even as we gaze. Sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset, swiftly fly the years. One season following another, laden with happiness and tears.
So that was the first part of Sunrise. You know, when I saw the clip of me davening in the garden with the sprinkler on, I'm making this recommendation to you guys. And women, if you want to get up and daven early, get into the garden early with your talis and tefillin, ladies with your siddur in hand, and you will see, you will hear the birds, you will be surrounded by the matanot, by the gifts of God, and your davening will be the most beautiful one. I'm making that recommendation to you, particularly this week as we're about to get some beautiful weather. So, as we go on to the next clip, once again, thank you, Malcolm. Have your tissues ready. This is the most beautiful clip. Try and listen to the words. Try and pick up on the lyrics that Malcolm has written, because I think they're so beautiful, and we'll catch you sobbing after this song. Enjoy the second take of Sunrise, Sunset.
Is this the shul where I'm the chazan? Is this the bima where I pray? I can't describe how much I miss you every day. Is this the Torah that I carry? Is this the path I always take? Under this chuppah, couples marry, vows they make. Oh, noiselessly, minoriously, slowly pass the hours, till we all meet again together, here in this holy shul of ours. Oh, noiselessly, minoriously, yes, it feels like years. Memories emerge from every corner, each full of happiness and tears. What words of wisdom can I offer? How can I help to ease the pain? When will we get to see each other once again? It feels so natural to be here. It feels so much like this is home. I know that soon I will be back here and not alone. Oh, noiselessly, minoriously, I pray to God above. Soon I'll be standing here before you, and together we'll fill this place with love.
Wow.
We did cry the first 3 times we watched
First time I read those lyrics, they're so beautiful, and to have had the privilege to be in shul and to wear my talis and to stand on the bima where I always stand, it was very moving. It was emotional, and it was a beautiful take and beautiful lyrics. So we are coming to the conclusion of our broadcast. We really hope that you have enjoyed it and also learned something from it. But before we go, we want to do a very, very brief summary of all the songs that we just sang. First of all, tradition we sang. Remember that if you want our tradition to stay alive, we must teach our children the reasons and the sources why we do certain things, because just a set of tricks and practices without real meaning won't get our religion very far. Next one. If I were a rich man.
How to attain true happiness, to find contentment and to find appreciation and to be happy with what you have. And we all have so much.
Matchmaker? Well, it remains a question. Do we need a matchmaker? Are we supposed to have involvement in our children's life partner? It remains a question. I think in moderation. I think to guide them and to lead them and to encourage them, and for the children also to accept the advice of parents given in moderation.
Absolutely.
Next song, what else do we sing?
L'chaim.
L'chaim, to life. To life, celebrate life.
To serve Hashem with joy, to be joyous and to realize that we can enjoy everything materialistic, but also to have structure and to have meaning in everything that we do. And
to understand that everyone has struggles. We all have struggles. Trust me, we all have big struggles. But if we try to do them with simcha, and we try to do them with joy, and we try to practice our religion with joy, we don't show our children that it's a chore and too difficult, and we're not going to do it this week because it's too difficult. It's going to be a consistent joy. Then, only then, our children will see that this is something worthwhile investing in. Absolutely. And finally, sunrise, sunset.
Make every single day count. Make every single hour count, because the sunset is coming. Sounds a bit spooky there, but before you know it, times move on, the years go by, and therefore it's so important to make every single day count.
That's right. So now, before we go, thank you so much for watching. I want to give a big thank you to the person that's behind this scene at the moment, that has been seamlessly moving the scenes in and out. There's a lot of anxiety that goes into producing this. We're glad that the internet held up. We had plan Bs on standby, but a big thank you to our one and only Edward Howard, who has made this look absolutely seamless. Thank you so much, Edward.
And gave us all the time.
Absolutely, thank you so much, Edward, our chief executive in our shul office. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We couldn't have done it without you.
So we've nearly done an hour. It was called Happy Hour, and it's nearly been an hour. Thank you for sharing the evening with us.
We hope you enjoyed it.
We really hope you have enjoyed it. Please don't forget to forward the share it with your friends and family. I've loved doing it with Rochana. I've loved doing it.
It's been a lot.
I should really finish this episode with it. Do you love me?
Right, I did get lots of comments whether I was going to be colder.
I'm not singing it.
I'm sorry to disappoint.
Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.
And we're going to leave you with the part that the show began with. Thank you for joining us. We will see you again soon. Lots of love. Don't forget, we are missing each and every one of you, but so glad that we had this opportunity to be able to connect again, and we feel that we are with you and you are watching us. So don't forget, there is one more broadcast. Well, there's a few broadcasts all the way through the week.
Every night this week there is something.
Absolutely, have a look on the Facebook page. But you will see me again Erev Yom Tov, Thursday evening at 7:45. That should be really lovely. I'm going to do some highlights of the Yom Tov Tefillah, the Yom Tov prayer, all the highlights. So join me at 7:45 on Thursday evening for a Kabbalat Yom Tov extravaganza. In the meantime, from Rochela, from myself, from all of us who partook in this family broadcast,
thank you for joining us.
And sending lots of love to you from all of us.